During COVID in 2020 or 2021, I became severely malnourished because I was starting to eat only raw vegetables, only raw foods. I eliminated all the meat, all the milk. I became a vegan. I used to micromanage every behaviors of my parents. I used to get mad at my parents because I thought they were the problems of my life. I had recently broken up with my then girlfriend, and one day I was watching a video of Habib Nurmagomedov versus some UFC fighter in my phone as I was lying in this bed, and suddenly I started to sense a feeling of impending doom. I rushed to my mirror. I looked at my mirror, and I could see that my pupils were getting dilated, and I immediately fell down to my knees, and I had a full blown panic attack. I thought I was going to die. I thought that was a heart attack. I immediately opened my door. I called my younger brother and told him that I was experiencing probably heart attack. I was still breathing heavily. I was still on my knees, and my brother consoled me. He told me that's not anything. It's embarrassing for me to remember this right now, because imagine you being a big brother and you asking for reassurance with your small brother, right? Anyway, that moment created a very traumatic experience in my brain, because every moment of my day I used to think that I'm going to have that same panic attack again. And I used to be so scared. I couldn't sit still for even 1 minute, because if I sat for 30 seconds in a particular place, I thought panic attack is going to hit me from nowhere and I would just break down there. Thank God I didn't have to go to my mid school, because at that time there was online education. I'm sorry, I'm not really that fluent in English because I live in Nepal. Anyway, that moment I realized that diets would not work, exercising would not work, walking for 4 hours a day would not work, and micromanaging every behaviors of people around me would not work. Getting mad at my parents for how shitty my life is not going to work. I would still be suffering from panic attacks despite all of these things, because I was already doing all of these things, and I still had a full blown panic attack. So so what happened was, I suddenly decided that I was not going to live like that any longer. Had this I had this source of confidence that I would face the panic attack again. I didn't know what happened. I hadn't read any books on how to overcome panic attacks. I just decided that I would face my panic attack again and I will never experience it ever again. So, what I did was, I took this mala, right? I took this mala and I sat in a comfortable position. I closed my eyes and I started chanting a mantra. I started chanting a mantra. Why did I start chanting a mantra? Because I had to sit my body down for at least 10 minutes, and I was sure that panic attacks would come, because at that moment I couldn't even sit still for 1 minute. So imagine if I sat my body down for 10 minutes, of course panic was going to come. So what I did was, I closed my eyes, I sat in a comfortable position, I took the mala, I started chanting a mantra on the mala, and suddenly it appeared. Suddenly my heart started to beat faster. Suddenly my face started to get really red and hot. My blood was going upwards towards the neck. It was getting so warm. This was getting warm. I started feeling nauseous. I started getting dizzy. I started to feel like I was going to pass out. But in my mind, I told myself, I will rather die than live like this. I don't care if panic attack is going to kill me right here, but I'm not going to stand again until I completely face this. So I just kept chanting a mantra on my mala, kept chanting a mantra on my mala. Symptoms were happening. Heart was beating faster. Blood was going upwards. I was feeling nauseous, but I still continued chanting my mala. And miraculously, of course, now it's not a miracle because now I know why all these things happen. After just 30 seconds or 40 seconds, all the symptoms disappeared, and I could finally sit my body down for 10 minutes. That was the day I never experienced panic attacks ever again. All I had to do now was get to the root cause of my anxiety and heal my anxiety as well. And I did that too. I did that by learning more about other kinds of meditation. I live in Nepal, so of course, I have access to a lot of good meditation centers. I visited those meditation centers. I read a lot of spiritual books. I studied a lot of spiritual masters. I studied a lot of Western spiritual masters like Neville Goddard and some spiritual teachers like Joe Dispenza, and I developed a three process meditation process. By following that three-step meditation process, I could also heal my anxiety as well. So I have described about my three-step meditation process in all of my videos before this video. They are all in my YouTube channel. I just wanted to share how I overcome the panic attack in and of itself. So I just want to help at least one person. If you are watching this, I hope that you just muster up the courage and sit your body down and just make a promise to yourself that you are not going to stand until you face your panic attacks, until you completely feel all the symptoms and you just watch all the symptoms disappear on its own. Please do this. Please. Life is not worth living if you're always having panic attacks. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.